Okay, so we're doing some more stuff I was sent on Instagram, and this one is particularly hilarious, and probably the 10th or 15th time I've seen this over the years. It's ramped up a bit since I got rid of the old chess piece, but this one is middle of the row for quality. Like, I've seen it done worse, believe it or not, and I've seen it done a little better, but I've never seen it done very well.
It's
right?
crazy.
Like that. Well, people you wouldn't believe how many people have tried to copy certain tattoos I've had. There's a tattoo artist that is literally always being tagged with ripping me off, like my bodysuit. There's a Ark's tattoo. Like, he actually blocked my old account because people used to always tag him with various comments, stealing Remy's bodysuit and stuff like that.
Oh, wow.
He did a lot of like eyes with teeth. Oh, I'm gonna put the screenshots in here because
I know, but
I've
still
said
want
this
you to send it to
before.
me.
I've said this before, and people have like, oh yeah, right. And no, that's true. He actually blocked my old account because of it, because he got tagged so many times. But also, not this is as common or more common for people to recreate my old chess piece, which for whatever reason was incredibly iconic for some people. Mm-hmm. And this was a drawing that I did as a kid.
Yeah.
For the record. And so was the eye on my torso.
Mm-hmm.
Like, both of the most famous Remy tattoos were things that I drew as a kid and then got cleaned up later by, like, Rick cleaned up. I think Rick's exact words were, and I'm going to see if I can find the picture. He said, "This is a cool idea, but it's a terrible drawing."
Yeah.
It was the three skulls and the wings and the key. And then later, the original eye on my torso was constructed with the keyhole in it.
Yeah.
And so when we got rid of the eye on my torso, or the keyhole on my torso, like, the chess piece was always on borrowed time as far as I was concerned.
I really like that chess piece, though. Your chess piece had a little bit of color in it, though.
Yeah, of course. There was blood in the blood dripping off the petals of these roses, and the key was done in gold. And that made a world of difference. Mm-hmm. Also, the proportions on this are suspect at best. The placement is also quite a bit different than where mine was. Mine went higher, like the skull ended like right here. And then later, out of the crack in the skull, because my original chess piece, there was a filigree handle for the key up here.
Yeah.
And then later I built a key ring onto it on my throat, and had another skull on top of it. So this isn't quite one-to-one, but it's clear enough that if you were walking around with this, anyone who knew anything about tattoos knows exactly who this belonged to. And I don't really find it irritating. I find it kind of flattering, but also very weird.
It is a little weird.
Like, I don't know why. Like, I get so many times people will ask, like, how do you keep coming up with ideas for tattoos? Like, people will go, how do you know what to get? And I'm like, I've literally never had trouble with ideas. I have a million ideas right now. I could fill 15 more bodysuits. I don't understand a lack of inspiration for tattoos. Like, that is one that I've never understood. Like, you'll get people who will sit here on the couch and they will literally be Googling and Pinteresting meaningful tattoos for love of your father, or
oh yeah, I know.
You know, and then it's super meaningful to them for some reason.
Yeah, they're like, I want to get something from my mom, but I don't know what to get. It's like, well, then what?
I think a lot of people genuinely, and this is not me being a gatekeeper at all. It's just, I think a lot of people genuinely didn't need to have tattoos, but it became so fashionable that they think they need to, just to belong or something.
Something.
And then they end up, like, without any ideas, just kind of taking ideas from other people and seeing things that they like and then replicating them. And, like, I'm not going to say that everything that I've done on me has been incredibly unique and original. Obviously, I have a fucking rose sleeve, but that was intentionally done to be classic, you know? Like, the way that was composed it was intentionally done that way. Whereas a lot of people, when they do things like that, they need these huge reasons to justify them, and it's always hilarious to me. Like, there was actually a backstory to this piece, right? Like, this piece had a meaning to me that will never make sense to anyone else.
Oh, exactly.
But it was like something like past, present, future, and, you know, good, bad, evil, a whole bunch of different things like that. But it's just a cool piece. And to Rick's credit, like I always said that this piece was like a magazine quality piece and probably one of the best black and gray tattoos
It was
he
so
ever did.
soft. It was gorgeous.
We originally it was soft black and gray, but as the blackout continued on, I had him darken the whole thing up. But this is a pretty shoddy imitation at best, and it doesn't irritate me to see. I just wish that the people who were mimicking this shit would do a better job of it. I would love to see this thing done again, even
Or
better.
try and do it in a different style.
Yeah, well, they always because they want to just take my piece and put it on them, right?
I know.
And a lot of people thought I was crazy to black this out.
But
too.
I'd like to see this trad.
Yeah.
I think that would be a really cool variation on it. Do this but trad.
Well, this is not the last time you'll see it.
No,
and
of
also, you wouldn't believe how many people have sent me variations of the rose sleeve.
Oh, I bet.
I've got 2 coming up.
Ooh, I'm excited
Literally
to
in
see
the
that.
next few weeks.
Yeah.
Who are people who are working on almost 1-for-1 copies of the rose sleeve. They're just not as nice. So it's like, you could say what you want about me and my tattoos. They're iconic as fuck. I've even seen this chest piece done too.
Crazy.
And
You should have a whole episode
a lot of
Remy
people
ripoffs.
A lot of people hate this chest piece, but there are people who love it too. So, and I think it's it's a little more, wild and I think it's a little more creative than the last chest piece and a little more different, but it's it is what it is. So, moving along, we have a really cool armpit banger. It's like a face hugger.
Freaking, this is awesome.
Yeah, I really like this. It should be obvious that I would like this.
Yeah.
This is very in line with everything that I like.
Yeah, no,
So-
this thing is it's scary too. And the kind of bruisey look on his skin, under the face hugger, that's so cool looking.
Yeah, I mean, this is, I believe, freshly done, so some of the tones may chill out.
Oh yeah, but still neat.
But I hope that it stays fairly orangey. Right? I don't think that that's gray wash in there, though sometimes gray
hard to
wash
say.
can turn pretty fucking orange,
Yeah.
especially in an area that's sensitive. I think some of this was healed already and some of it's fresh. I think it's just the background that's fresh by the looks of things.
Super cool.
Yeah, I really, really like it. The only problem is it's better than everything else he has.
Well, yeah.
That's the problem sometimes. You'll have when you're cobbling together your first bodysuit, you have, I'm not to say that anything here is god awful, but you'll have things that are of different styles and different overall quality. Whatever he's got on his arm is in no way as good as this. And usually by the time you get to the last areas, you have more money, and then you get way better tattoos in your last few spots. So this is way better than everything else, and I would recommend covering the rest of it with this stuff. I think if I ever do get around to covering the rose sleeve, as I've talked about a couple times here, I think you'll see more of this stuff. It will go more with the torso and the left arm.
More horror-y.
More horror, and I think the rose sleeve was more just my thing to make my point, and also for experimentation. This stuff is more what I enjoy personally, so I
don't want to see the rose sleeve gone.
It's a nice looking sleeve, but what if it was a face hugger sleeve? You know what I mean? It would never be as striking, but yeah, who knows?
Let's see, what do we got next? Oh, this is sweet.
Yeah, these are the tattoos that, see, this one actually does have a good story with it, right? When you're getting something for your kid and you're having to Google, oh, what do I get for my son? Whereas this is you knew what you were getting. There's a nice message to this. It's you gotta wear one, I gotta wear one too.
Well, and so they don't feel so alone, or maybe more normal.
Those things are
quote,
sweet.
Normal.
I'm not trying to say tattoos can't have meanings. I've got one from my mom and one from my dad, right? I just think that when you're having to look for something, maybe you don't need it,
Right.
Where this was very obvious and a very sweet sentiment. I can fully get behind that. I just think that anytime you're having to Google what should I get for my mom, maybe you don't need to get anything for your mom.
Right.
Maybe you just need to get the tattoo you want to get. This is a lovely little tribute, and I could see this guy probably only has a tattoo or two. You know what I mean? It's just that there's a reason why it is where it is. It's not like he put a lollipop up there. He
Right.
wasn't just looking to get a head tattoo, you know? So those are the little fun ones that I really like that mean a lot. Like that. This is also giving the kid a memory for life too, right? Like my dad got this in support of me. Like it's a very nice bonding thing, I think.
It is.
Just goes to show you the different ways you can do different things with tattooing that mean different things. So yeah, I thought that was cool. And then you have this, something completely different, right?
These are like tattooed on golf socks or something.
Yeah, so we
Like
go
Argyle.
from very, very meaningful, one-off to a very absurd one-off that we're literally just doing for the joke.
Yeah, for funsies.
And I still think that this is more inspired and more interesting than most of what you find on Pinterest.
This is crazy though. Like I
All
can't
those
imagine
lions
going
and
around
pocket
with these
watches
forever.
and all those bull winders about how I got this for my grandfather because he was a warrior.
Yeah, or like all the times, and like no offense to people who have these, but I've done the same dad with a heart tattoo on like so many people.
Or the floral bouquets with the birth flowers for each fucking
Right?
child. Nope, this guy just wanted some socks.
Exactly.
And you know what? There's something a lot more intriguing to me about that. Like, I would rather know the story behind this than most tattoos that we do. Because I guarantee you there is some kind of a story.
Oh yeah.
Like, there's some wild story about getting lost somewhere and all he had was his socks or something. Or he found some socks when he was freezing and these things kept him warm. And you know what I mean? Like, there's some crazy story like that. Like when, like Scott that used to work here at the shop that was on the podcast with his fucking Australian hat. You know, like there's always a crazy story behind stuff like that. And genuinely probably more meaningful than most tattoos you see, although with the appearance of incredible random nonsense. So, yeah, I had to include that. What else do we got here?
Big
yeah.
Dick is back in town.
I
Wow.
really like this one, and I think Terry should have it somewhere on it, right? Because, like, right away, the first thing you knew about Terry was he was incredibly, he was soft-spoken, but there was a lot of ego in there. Like, it's that quiet kind of, I got a big dick, that kind of thing. And this joke has got a real real play at the shop here, so.
A little less so now. Now you're bugging.
Oh, now it's Ashley.
Now you're bugging Ash.
Yeah, now she's on the come up. Yeah.
All right. But
it's really cool.
I think this is it's a good likeness for this old dude. I
Yeah.
like these kind of funny ones.
I don't actually know where the origin of the big dick is back in town thing came from.
Yeah, well,
like,
someone should tell us.
Yeah, I would love to know where that joke originates, but I'm not really that interested in putting the time in to find out.
No,
so.
me neither.
But yeah, I think that's a pretty cool little trad portrait. Mm-hmm. Nice tricks there.
Yeah, looks good.
Yeah, definitely cool. And then this was one I seen recently. This King of Queens sleeve.
Oh, this is cool.
And like, don't get me wrong, I think the King of Queens was a pretty good show. I think all the sitcoms in the 90s and early 2000s were,
Loads better than most
loads
of what
better
that's come
than
out.
anything that's come out in the last 20 years, I'd
Yeah.
say. Like that pitiful 90s show.
Oh yeah,
That was
geez.
terrible.
Terrible.
Oh, my God, though, the portraits are good.
Yeah, they're gorgeous.
Like, that is so fucking good. Was Jerry Stiller? I think that's Ben Stiller's dad. Look at the fucking
It's perfect.
beautiful forehead texture they got there, and the crease of his mouth there, and the mustache. It's like, they're all good portraits, but because there's more texture in that one, like, they just achieved it so brilliantly.
He nailed it.
Yeah, like, I would probably not get the King of Queens. I might get, like, Seinfeld, though.
Oh yeah,
Like, imagine how cool a Seinfeld sleeve
that would look
be.
really good.
Yeah, like, I'm not going to do it, but, like, this is what I said earlier about, like, if I had 15 bodysuits,
Yeah.
I could see doing, like, fucking black and gray portraits of Jerry, Kramer,
I could
Elaine,
see you
and
having like a
George.
the old artwork for Final Fantasy and a bodysuit. Like,
Oh,
there's
yeah.
lots of
Well,
things
I
could see
had
you having.
3 Final Fantasy tattoos
Yeah.
on my legs. I would do a whole bodysuit of Final Fantasy,
Yeah.
full color.
Yep,
Like, I had,
the old artwork though.
yeah, well, I could do, like, a pixel art bodysuit.
Yeah,
I had a portrait of Kefka on my leg that was fucking beautiful.
like realism.
Yeah, realism portrait of Kefka that was
Super cool.
I think, like, this is fucking awesome and, like, totally unique. I've never seen a sitcom sleeve prior to this, and this one is beautiful. Look at that. And also look at the texture of the brick here.
Oh, it's amazing.
Like meticulously done.
So good.
It's absolutely beautiful. I was like thinking to myself, like in an era where we're doing like all kinds of weird different styles of tattooing, there's a place for this.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like this is weird in its own way, but it's like such a high level tattoo.
Yeah, this is something else. Like I can't even imagine setting to this, like, and being like, this is what I'm doing today. Like those bricks would have taken them all day.
It must be someone that like I'm sure there's a deep meaning to this, but like I bet you they watch this show on repeat. You know, I used to put in like DVDs and fall asleep to them kind of thing, and just play all, and it would always be like this series or that series. But I bet you this for them that's King of Queens. Like
Right.
it's got to be like their white noise. You know what I mean? Like it's just part of their everyday to want it this bad.
Their routine.
It could also be a thing where like their dad or their mom loved this show, you know, like see there can be a lot of meaning to something that seems like it has no meaning. People are always looking to find things that look like they mean something rather than having something that actually means something.
Right.
And I bet you any money that there's a pretty cool story behind this one.
I think so too. This one's really cool.